Hi guys, and welcome back to Journey2Med. If you're new here, my name is Liddy and I'm a first year medical student at Barton, London. And if you're not new here, then thank you so much for tuning back in. Today's video is on 10 things that I genuinely wish I knew before starting medical school. But before we get started with the video, apparently around 70% of you guys are not subscribed to our channel. Guys, what's that all about? Support Journey2Med and the hard work we put into your videos and the content we provide you guys with, and please remember to press that subscribe button, like for real, so that we can grow together in this journey. When I started medicine, I really saw it like rainbows, sunshine, just absolute heaven. Nothing could possibly go wrong. But when reality slapped me, it really slapped me. It was mainly because of the fact that I underestimated medicine a bit too much. Why, you ask? Why would I enter med school underestimating the workload, underestimating what I would have to face essentially? And that is because of this one phrase: A-levels are way harder than medicine. Medicine is easier than A-level. Having heard this phrase from a bunch of medical students I met during events I would attend as a year 12 aspiring to do medicine, and even a doctor I shadowed once said that phrase, I really thought, wow, this is it. I don't know about you, but year 13 was honestly the worst. It was really stressful. There were a lot of things to handle and a lot of things to balance. I wouldn't say that I've reached year 13 stress in medicine as of yet. In saying that, that doesn't mean that the workload you get in medicine will necessarily be less or easier to understand and learn. Unfortunately, I really digested that phrase a bit too much, to the point where I underestimated the workload as well as how difficult it would be, to a very dangerous level. Don't be a me and honestly just have appropriate expectations for med school. I guess one of the main reasons why I underestimated med school so much, or I really held on to that one comment, is because of just the difficulty of year 13, and I just needed something to motivate me and to give me hope for next year that, you know, my life of education will not be this torturous. So I just had to hold on to that for dear life. The second thing that I wish I knew before starting medical school was that it's okay to not know how to study at the very beginning. This is something that really worried me when I first started medical school. Some of the techniques that I used for A-levels weren't necessarily working for med school, and I did struggle in terms of how I wanted to revise or how I wanted to go about learning new content. But it's perfectly fine. Just try new things and see what works for you. You will eventually settle on one. Have I found what works for me? No, absolutely not. But that's not the point. I have a clearer direction in terms of how I want my revision to go. I do know what doesn't work for me, so at least I gained knowledge in that area. I feel like I'm very close to cracking down on how Liddy learns medicine, so we'll get there soon, guys, don't worry about it. I wish that I was aware that I wouldn't discover my set university routine immediately. I don't know why I expected to anyways, but I expected to start university and immediately know what my preferences were. If I enjoyed getting to university a few minutes early to look at my lectures, if I wanted to do that on the train, if I wanted to go straight home and revise at home, if I wanted to go to the library first, what days my extracurricular activities would be, what days I wanted to take a break from work. And because I expected it, it was disappointing and a bit for me when I couldn't have a set uni routine straight away, because I do like a bit more structure in my life. One thing to be aware of is that university routine won't come straight away, and it's okay. It's easy to get confused by how everything works, very easy, and if you do get confused, that doesn't make you incompetent. Like, there's a lot of information to take in. Just take your time and you will eventually find out what works for you. There is so much information in literally nearly every lecture you will do in medicine, and one thing that I learned 6 months into university is that you don't have to know every single detail mentioned in a lecture, and that's perfectly fine. In A-levels, it was kind of like you had a specification that told you exactly what you needed to know to an absolute T. It gave you every detail you needed to know and roughly the topics that you needed to really be aware of. And we don't have that in medicine. I don't know about other medical schools, but we have learning objectives that are very ambiguous. So it was difficult for me to kind of like tell what I needed to know and what I didn't need to know. Don't try and memorize every single thing in lectures. What you need to do is understand the basics, understand the important mechanisms, and essentially how everything works and comes together, rather than be so infatuated on just memorizing small details that they're probably not going to ask in the exam. If you really need help to figure out what you need to know from a module or a topic, what you need to do is not be afraid to ask for help, which is number 5 on what I wish I knew when I first started medicine. It's perfectly okay to ask for help from your peers or even older students. Don't shy away from that, because it's one of the things that will actually be so useful for you. A lot of universities have this, but there's a parent scheme where you can sign up to get a mummy and daddy, which is essentially an older student that mentors you. It might be called different things, but I'll definitely sign up to these because they give you such valuable advice. Like, they've gone through what you are currently going through. And this was a really big thing for me personally, because I learned about asking questions. Like, I'm not afraid to ask dumb or silly questions. That's the way I learn. I need to ask those questions to ensure that I understand every single thing. And my issue was that I felt as though any questions I had, I might have to brush them under the carpet, because it's not really that classroom setting at university. I didn't really feel comfortable raising up my hands from the whole lecture room at first. And sometimes when I'd email lecturers about my questions, the answers I'd receive were really complex when I really just needed a simplified version of what they were saying. So taking this to my Bart's parents helped me so much with just feeling more confident towards the topics that I was learning. More of the story, when you need help, ask for help. Don't feel like, oh, they're gonna think I'm stupid if I ask for help. Think of the long-term goal, not your temporary pride. The 6th thing that I wish I knew was that medical students aren't what you think. Don't make assumptions beforehand of the type of people you're gonna meet at university. Some of the medical students I'm friends with, I didn't really expect to click with them or to get along with them, because I had this assumption of people in my head. So don't go into university having assumptions of people. Be open about the different type of people that you will meet there. 7th thing, don't purchase too much, but don't purchase too little at the same time. Don't go purchasing 10 folders in your university shopping. Like, you don't even know how many modules there are. I would suggest keeping some money for just the introductory week of university to figure out essential things that you really need to buy. Buy the basics like pens, electronics you might want to use, but things like folders, wait until you find out a bit more details about what modules you're doing and how you want to structure that, and when you get an opportunity to speak to older students and ask them how they organize their folders. When I say don't purchase too little, I low-key wish that I purchased a stethoscope right at the beginning of med school, because when you're doing clinical skills and you have to share stethoscopes or borrow, I don't know about you, but that just, no, I really don't like sharing, you know, earbuds and stuff. I really wish that I bought a stethoscope at the beginning of med school, and I'm going to be ordering my stethoscope this week for 2nd year as well. So this takes me on to number 8, which is don't pre-budget your maintenance loan too extensively. And when I say that, I mean a lot of people will plan, okay, I'm getting this much, this will go to that, this will go to that, this will go to that, and that's it. They don't leave any additional money or any backup money that they might need for additional things. As much as you want to be organized, leave some space for any additional purchases you might want to make. The 9th thing I wish I knew was to take it easy on myself, because at the end of the day, I just started medical school. I'm in 1st year. There's no reason for me to be doing the absolute most and to be burning myself out in the 1st year of medical school. I still have a lot of years left. If I burn myself out in 1st year, then I'm just not going to enjoy my course. So don't be so hard on yourself when you don't meet certain expectations of yourself. Like, if I wasn't that productive that week, I'd feel really bad, but then I just had to remind myself that at the end of the day, I am human. I'm not just going to medical school to just be in a library 24/7. You want to have a social life, you want to make time to chill with your friends, you want to make time to join societies. Don't just be a student, but be someone that has a work-life balance. The 10th thing that I wish I knew was to make time to know other students. You don't want to be caught up in a medicine bubble, in a medicine world, consistently being surrounded with medical students, just having medical discussions. Sometimes it's good to, you know, maybe talk to politics students and have a political discussion. Expand your knowledge of other courses as well. Expand your knowledge on other people. It's not just medical students that exist. So it's really good to get out of that bubble and try to know people from other courses as well. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was informative and gave you guys some really useful advice. Let me know if you want to see more videos like this, or if you have any video suggestions that you'd like to see in the future. Remember to like and subscribe for real, and I will see you for another video in the future. Bye.